Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast. With me, Matt. It's been a while, hasn't it, again? I got a few more replays here that's coming quite fast, but I've had a little bit of a busy time this weekend, so it's first now time to recruit some of them. Anyway, we have a preview free for you all here on the Golden Fields on the Eastern Front. Let's go through the players. We have Theo as the Soviet Union Military Commander. We have Alucard, straight out the gate with Shock Division for the Soviet Union, obviously. And finally, we have Kian with our commanders. In the Axis today, we have Stockholm as Staff Division for the Wehrmacht. We have Silver Destroyer as Ost Division for the Wehrmacht, so Staff and Ost. And Stockholm is the main developer of Spearhead 2, if you're wondering. And finally, we have Chewie as the Waffen with Jäger Tactics. Interesting, so we only really have Chewie with late game heavy armor and found a Panther for the Axis. This could be fascinating to see what happens. Soviets have a lot of potential here by just having a lot of units out in the field as usual. How it all turns out for them. Soviets are spreading out and around, securing territory. Nothing new there. Trying to speak a little bit lower because it's pretty late in the evening when I'm recording this. This should be good. I've had a very long day, so a lot to think through and think about and do. Also looks like we have a command choice. Hero has gone for artillery. Ooh. Okay, still shock. And EM has gone for tank. Okay, so the Soviets have a good mix of everything they need. Eventually. German Volksgrenadiers are moving up into positions to try and fight back the Soviets here in the fields. The Golden Fields is a nice looking map. I like the Eastern European farmland here. Very well set up. And we have the little village here in the center. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers going into the center of this little farming village. But the Soviets are getting some good shots in. Trades being thrown. Hansky sitting up behind the sandbag wall there. Also, a cool one on the MG-34 covering the northern area here. But we have some Fontovigi already arriving. Some more professional Soviet infantry now. Can potentially be very useful. Soviets so far are doing a pretty good job just applying pressure across the front line. Ooh, we had a Brandflash and Molotov return to the center though. Like the Soviets might have got the better hand of it, but it's hard to say at the moment because they are pulling back, but there are more conscripts coming in from the flank here. Ostruppen on the fields, Eastern Europeans fighting for the Germans on the Eastern Front. Also on the Western Front somewhat apparently. That's gonna give the Germans a little bit more field presence here, throwing an egg grenade. Ooh, right in the conscripts. Ooh, it almost kills all of them, force them to run. The Soviets keep applying pressure on the southern flank. One more conscripts rushing forwards. Germans are holding over cover here, very good to see, so they can get into better fighting positions. Especially these Grenadiers. We also have a tank on the squad here for the Soviets, probably deal with that Kogelwagen. One good shot with the PTIS should do it. Yeah, like that. Pretty big rifle for such a small vehicle after all. Germans so far just getting overrun by Soviets, which it's a lot, I suppose. We also have a Maxim arriving here now for the Soviets. To make it a lot harder for the Germans, but we do have an MG-42 coming up, manned by some penal troopers. That's going to be able to cover this field very reliably. Problem is that Maxim is still doing a pretty good job at keeping the Germans at bay, but they are pulling back with it. Maxim in the center as well. MG-34, I think, going up there in the town. There's also an MG-34 here for the Waffen-SS. But the Soviets have gotten a good bit of the ground. They control both munitions points, which is like a big deal. Very big deal, I feel. Grenadiers now are present. Firing a rifle grenade, misses. Firefights continue down here. We even have a lieutenant now arriving for the Soviet Union. When that MG-42 is getting up behind that tractor, it's a very good spot actually. Grenadiers might be in trouble. Oh no, they get some good shots off. Let's see. Oh, that's actually to the conscript's advantage. Static firefight here. Lots of machine guns in the center at the moment.
We can now commandeer structures for use as command posts. New units are ready to deploy.
The mortar somewhere? No, that's just an artillery strike here. Okay, caused by the lieutenant. Laying out the area in front of the machine gun. This side making their move. Germans sending more troops into the meek right at the center here. But lots of Maxims are just pinning them in. Like that machine gun is not able to fire. And here comes the conscripts. En masse. About the Ladung though. Oh, pretty good one too. But the machine gun does go down. But they do deny the Soviets the central point still. Still in German hands. Oh, good rifle grenade, except those... The Maxim team actually took that pretty well. The one guy died. Here's Militant on the northern flank for the Soviets. Germans are just in, all the Waffen SS. Bring up that 40 HQ back here. More pioneers nearby, they might prepare another Gebaldeladung. It looks like the Maxim is falling back, but there's still the second Maxim. Oh, Germans are doing a push here with staff trooping on the southern flank. A little bit of a brave infantry push, but looks like it's worked out. They forced the Soviets back somewhat. They also put the two to help. Probably a pretty good choice as the Soviets are lacking in AT equipment down here. Oh, that's some good close range shots. Like the 2-2 is pretty good against the infantry when it gets close. Well, the Soviets usually have 8 anti-tank rates. But destroyed the Maxim completely, as you could see. Don't underestimate that the autocannon. Afterwards, are still taking this munitions point while under fire, but it is their job. They're sent there to secure it or die. That's why they're penal troops after all. It looks like they will have to be able to secure it. Give the Germans some long needed munitions. The two being used to destroy this 40 HQ that the Soviets have set up. Pretty good. The tank on this relocated to the southern flank to help. One good shot with the PTS kills it. Probably because it didn't have Radpanzer up. They didn't manage to check. Ooh, clearing some cover here for the machine gun. Very nice. It got suppressed by the DPM though. Pillbox also being set behind. Oh, they managed to get out of suppression. The MD-42 should dominate down here then. Yep, always suppressing the Fontoviki. Hound still in the hands of the Germans. Off on flank is still very much static. We have some light pushes up here, but not a lot is changing. Germans pushing to the outskirts of the village now. Seeing the Soviets taking up outside it. Truppen and the idea is doing their best, but they're under a lot of fire. They're actually under a crossfire here. You don't want to be in a crossfire, because cover is directional. MT-42 still doing a pretty decent job down here. Pillbox being set up here by the Germans to help dig in. You have a SIS gun. Actually, that's a small SIS gun. And be able to artillery and tank destroyer, I believe.
A new half-track has arrived.
Machine guns are denying the Soviets advance over this part of the fields. Like the Golden Fields map. Oh, village is falling in the hands of the Soviets. Even demo charging it, I think? Yeah, the demo charging it. So the Germans can use this cover. Got some shock troopers arriving here now. Artillery being called here by the Soviet Union. Machine gun being put inside the pillbox, very smart. Give some defensive capabilities. And you have a commander bunker going up so they can reinforce from here and operate. The pillbox will be very hard for the Soviets to push through at the moment, I feel. That's just they cannot flank it. Another forward HQ has been set up here by the Soviet Union to operate from. Might be in for a very long and interesting match here. Potentially. Northern flank is definitely the most static and quiet at the moment. Mthis is trying to dig up with trenches. Hopefully under fire from a Maximus they attempt so. Goes a 2-2-1 here in the center, becoming a 2-2-2. Also an Aufklärer. And marksman on the Sturmgrenadier. Oh, munitions point is falling back into Soviet hands. We also have T-70 on the southern flank.
Mortar team reports ready for combat.
Mthis bunker being upgraded here in the commander bunker. They also have medics to help. The Germans are gonna try and secure the town again. Not a lot here to stop them. Oh! Oh! The Soviets have what's it called? Rigged a lot of the town to blow up. By the looks of it. Yeah, sandbags by the point of this building. If the Germans try to take those things, they'll just get blown sky high. Very smart by the Soviet Union. Pretty sure we'll miss whenever they blow up, though. We'll have a look that way we can hear the explosions. Might just get it, I don't know. So let's get inside the trench there with a Maxim. Shock troops are nearby. We also have a half-track arriving here for the Germans to hold the center. Probably to reinforce from. That Maxim in the trench is actually in a really good spot. Should we call in somewhere? Looks like it's up here. Mthis is trying to make a push because of it. We do 2-1-half to keep an eye on the center, but we do have a Syscon coming up behind. Oh, Landmarks got blown up there. Two got hit by the Sys. Just pushing up against these penal troopers, throwing a Molotov. Getting 2 of them in. Germans are definitely having a little bit of trouble here.
The forward structure under attack.
What's sort of being called in on their positions?
We are suffering losses.
But Germans can be enforced from here due to the commander bunker. Lots of MP40s being handed out here to the Volksgrenadier. Artillery on the pillbox will not do a lot. Pillbox is pretty heavily fortified. We got some SEGA team arriving here and a mortar half-track. For the Ostdivision. Static firefight continues in the north with not a lot happening over this little field. Don't blame them. Double shock troopers are preparing to move somewhere, but they decide to pull back.
Anti-tank gun is ready for action.
They're gonna try and flank. Just pushing up here also the T's. That's the T-70 preparing to move. That's been loaded with high explosive rounds. Not sure if it's that small gun will be with high explosive rounds, but it might be better than we think.
We now have access to additional battlefield options.
We have the Pack 4 nearby now. Shock troopers are preparing some kind of flank. The Grenadier keeps an eye on that area. Commander bunker still ensures the Germans can stick around. Repairing the slight little bit of damage it took. Fill in the crack!
The enemy is attacking one of our forward.
Just slams some new concrete into the crack that formed. Ostruppen getting close to the shock troopers here, but that's a pretty risky maneuver for them. Just the mortar half-track back here. Pack 40 sitting up. Good long firefights in this one. I like it. More artillery coming into German positions. Pack is set up to try and deal with the half-track, but I have to manage to get out of sight. Ooh, more Soviet artillery. Take out the crew of the MG-44, and actually MG-42, my bad. Actually destroys the MG-42. Ooh, that's not good. But the infantry gun arriving though, as quick as it can.
We have a forward structure under attack.
There's several mortar half-tracks now for the Ostdivision for the center. Mthis is gonna be bombarded as they up their trench. Ooh, good shots right in the trench, clearing it out.
We
October's moving for the munitions point again. They're trying to deny the Germans their munitions as long as they can. A wise move. Gonna decrease the amount of heavy weapons the Germans can bring to bear. Light infantry gun is ready to set up now. This thing should not be underestimated. Unless it misses. That's a lot better shot, but it is still missed. Not sure what that first shot was. Obviously, just had to sight it in. Like a test shot. Maybe more coming in for the Staff Division. Birds are pulling back briefly. As they made a lot more resistance than they expected. We do have some SS Fallschirmjägers inside the trench now. That's a pretty good squad, by the way. Fallschirmjägers in general are pretty good infantry. They have been equipped with AFT-42s, so it'll be hard to deal with. What's the sappers in the center here? Germans are still doggedly trying to hold on to that southern flank. And infantry gun is also doing its best, but it's under a lot of pressure.
We have a forward structure under attack.
Lots of artillery going in on the north flank here. I think they want to try and push through the Waffen-SS if they can, and the Fallschirmjäger went down. Ooh, that's not good. There's like an infantry to push up behind it though, I feel. Oh, the shock troopers are moving up. They might push on the northern flank. 84, 70. No, that's actually a C-45 being prepared as well. Okay. KV-8 coming out here for one of them. Thought was going to move through the road, apparently. Or at least alongside it. Not sure I approve of that tactic. There's also a half-track nearby. Machine guns on the rear of the half-track managed to suppress. Grenade being thrown. As the Osttruppen try to delay the advance of the Soviets. Artillery hitting the southern flank where the Germans have dug in. Looks like it mostly in favor of the Soviets at the moment. The heavy mortar trying to do its best here on counter barrage. But that's heavy artillery. And they are fighting the Soviet artillery commander, so no surprise there. Also called him by the Capitan, so no, one of us heavy. Three strikes keep happening. Light infantry guns are being used pretty reliably. Well, regimental field guns for the Soviets. Oh, we have a Hauptsturmführer here for the Waffen-SS, pulling in some kind of artillery in retaliation up here. Probably aimed around this trench network. Artillery being called in here by the Soviet Union. They are not giving up on that. The heavy mortar does its best. Actually doing a pretty good job with the counter barraging, I think. Getting a decent amount of kills if it can hit. Might be not a heavy barrage, and it might just be a mortar barrage. Cancelled. Probably up here. I know it's the barrage from the Hauptsturmführer, right? Then followed by smoke. That's a lack of stuff to push up behind it. We have several units here, Pioneer, Osttruppen and a Grenadier. So it's a new MG42. But we need to remember that building has been booby-trapped. Oh wait. Yeah, I still see it. Yeah, it's still there. But the Germans are moving into that building. Managed to Panzerfaust 85, but it's still alive. Good big push here from the Germans. Actually managed to destroy the trench. After pushing up as well. Very big push. But they're just being hit by a lot of automatic firepower from all the Soviets. Building up collapses. Now the shock troopers move up here. Using their PPS Aegis and other automatic firepower. Ooh. And we also have the KV-8. Germans decide to pull back for now. They lost a lot of units in that push. 476 on the southern flank. Howard's also going up here for the Soviet Union. All the heavy guns are going to be arriving shortly. Fragmentation round loaded. Hit some terrain though. Pack 40 rushing up quickly. KV using its main gun rather than the flamethrower here. Switching back to the flamethrower. Anti-Jägers are nearby, but that's a lot of automatic firepower from all these shock troopers. Ooh, Panzerschreck managed to hit the KV-8 though. We do have a Stuke G arriving. Germans are doing their best to try and hold this road. So it's quickly trying to set up a new trench.
Upgrade has finished.
Big Soviet infantry push, or at least Soviet attempt to dig in around here. Around the Mthis. And they're using conscripts for it, so it's a little bit more reliable to do. Conscript. Oh! That's the Romanians? And that's the Romanian army! Okay, that's one of the unique battle groups available to Ostdivision. Very low quality infantry, 6-man squad though. Looks like we're near Romania, or somewhere where the Romanians are fighting. Mthis is fighting up here. Well, I didn't expect to see some elements of the Romanian army. That's cool. A little bit more of an Eastern Front feel here. Ooh, 85 is gonna... Ooh, it missed! No penetration though from the Stuke. Oh boy. That's a lot of shock troopers. They're ordering a charge. I don't think the Germans have enough to stop this. Yes, the Schwarzjägers moving up behind the sandbags with FTs. Who's gonna go for another shot? Oh, one good shot penetrates and destroys the Stuke. But the Schwarzjägers are cutting into the shock troopers whenever they can, but they've been suppressed. Oh, explosive kills them though from the 85. We're not looking good there. We do have another KV-1 coming up. After taken up by the 85. Ooh, on the southern flank of the Germans have been completely overrun by artillery, so they might have to just fall back here and the new defensive line if they can. They lost far too many men here. So it's push into the ruins of this little farming village. It's not really fully ruined, there's still a few buildings left. But for how long is the question? So it continues to advance slowly, but steadily. Leading the German strides to advance. You have Panzer IV driving on the southern flank for the Germans. Romanians doing their best to hold behind the wrecks. Oh, we do have a Boider Panzer T-34 arriving as well to hold the line. We're finally advancing slowly up through the golden fields up here. Also, artillery is being prepared in the back here. Big howitzers are coming up now. 152 millimeters, much bigger than this M30, 122 millimeter. So it's gonna just flatten the Germans. Panzer IV is doing his best here, but it's just a lot of risk with that 80 gun nearby. Oh, Panzerschreck found here by the Romanians. Everyone having a duel with the T-34 Boider Panzer. Romanians gonna come up with the Panzerschreck though. They'll be able to hit while suppressed. They will. And there's the 85. Doesn't penetrate. Who will be able to hit the 85? Oh! Point the panzer down. And they are suppressed, so they take a lot longer to fire. Too long to fire, as you can see. These mortar half-tanks have done a lot of work, though. But the Soviet artillery is now opening fire. So the entire front line is going to get flattened now. Big Eastern Front fight here. I enjoy that. I'm still desperate, trying to hold down here. Oh, now the KV-8 is clearing out the trenches that was left up here. Oh, and this KV-8 can just drive up towards this 4 HQ if it wants. That's going to be a huge problem here for the Waffen-SS. Oh, the shells just landing all across the front line here. Romanians have set up a new defensive line down here. The shock troopers are preparing to move into the village again. I don't think the Romanians can hold them, but they're gonna try. The artillery shells keep landing. Most Tupanol's getting up behind the front line here, but getting suppressed. Too much automatic firepower from all these PPSHs. Do have the 25th Panzer Grenadiers nearby to supplement. Is just keeping a good overwatch side of this road. KV-8 has cleared out a lot of the Waffen-SS front line. There's not a lot left. Southern flank is... Germans are still trying to somewhat hold up. They're lacking in equipment and troops. Don't think they'll last for long at this rate. Never know, they might surprise me. Thanks for some KV-8 pushing up, clearing out the rest of the Waffen-SS's forward HQs. Nothing can stop them at this point. They do have a Panzerstrick armed Panzerjäger, but the KV-8 is just to target them. Not targeting them though. That's one stun. Be enough? Nope. No, it's ready to fire again. And burning down the Panzerjäger. Panzerjäger on the flank though, from the Wehrmacht. They got the KV-8, but all the HQs was destroyed. I hear artillery strikes are preparing again. And the southern front line has been completely smashed here. I think the Germans just need to pull further back. Shock troopers also heading southwards now with 85. Big coordinated push here from the Soviet Union. 8 is in a very bad position. Yeah, gets taken out by the 85. That's the southern flank basically entirely collapsed.
Enemy is attacking one of our forward buildings.
Not looking good here for the Germans. Like when the Soviets get rolling in team games, their power just really starts to scale. Because the Soviets just get inflated power when it's team games, because the Soviets is just a really good faction. They can do basically everything you need them to. Ooh, this poor truck. Oh, 85 missed. Truck, get away. Looks like it does. Speeding away as fast as it can. You have a Stupa coming onto the field, but will that be enough? Octopus has spotted the forward HQ of the Germans and the Romanians. That's the Romanian squad, it's up the inner trench. And with a check machine gun. Okay. I wonder when the shells are gonna start flying in. At some point the shells are just gonna point this area. So they're just hitting the area outside the Mthis space at the moment. Mthis try to recuperate. Very conscious of being forced to the front line here. Move 35th out in the open road with no cover. Against shock troopers, that's very lethal as you can see. Now the Soviets push up. Those troops, the Romanians are not enough. Romanians have been killed off. As the central front of the Germans collapse, kinda. They're trying to essentially self-destruct the HQ. Half-tracks managed to pull back though. Stupa has arrived on the front line. We also have the German Kettenhunde, the German military police, unique to Staff Division. But this is sending more troops out. So keep more of an eye on the front line. But the Stupa, I'd be excited to see if the Stupa can do anything. Speaking of the Stupa, we also have an IS-2 on the front line for the Soviets. And still more 85s has arrived. The Stupa got a good shot there, but now the 85 is rushing it. Building a heat round. Oh, but one penetrating shot is enough. That's the power of the 85. And the Kettenhunde managed to somewhat get away, I think. They might not. There was 2G arriving. Ooh, superstar accurate on the move. Ooh, machine gun cleared out. That's been very brave. Ooh, penetrated. Oh yeah, the Germans have been completely destroyed here. I'm not looking good here for the Germans whatsoever. Like, are they still gonna keep fighting despite the situation? That's brave of them, but I don't think they stand much of a chance at this point.
I await your orders, Commandant.
Need to see what the Germans do. There's a Sturmgrenadier here, one of the unique units available to John. Then the 8th. The Soviets could just push up aggressively across the entire front if they want. They probably do not want to vault that. And they're trying to pick up the machine gun, I think, but they keep misclicking. They managed to grab it, but they're gonna die, I think. Yep. That was kind of unfortunate. Unfortunately, that kind of stuff does happen a lot if you are not very good at clicking with your mouse. Very specific. There's more Kettenhunde in the fields. We have a Stuka entrenching into an ambush position.
Officer reporting.
SS is digging in heavily around the fields. Getting new trenches. Was it the Soviets going to prepare a mass push on the southern flank? Realizing it might be the vulnerable spot. But Stuka's going to try and hold them back. Actually takes out the veteran 85. I guess in a prepared position, the Stuka is not bad. Pulling back. There's still a lot of shock troopers nearby. do have an elephant gonna be arriving for the Ost Division, which might help. Oh, good explosive there. You have another Stuk coming out here for the Germans. They probably realize the Stuk is what they need. Promise the 85 can just kill it in one shot if it penetrates. Stuk has to be very careful. Oh, that's a lot of Soviet tanks. Shooting and scooting by the looks of it. Very good shot in the 76. 76 does not stand much of a chance in this Stuk. But there are several 76s. One's trying to flank. Picks up 176, but the other one is getting close. Trying to ram, but he cannot ram at that angle. Not close enough to penetrate though. Ooh, oh, the Stuk saves it. Scavenge that break if they want. Would give us more resources. Enemy strikes are landing again.
Squad, ready to move.
Like a big Soviet push for the northern flank is being prepared as well.
Heads up, we're taking fire.
Let's see. Here comes the KV-8. Hanskop's gonna come in behind. Oh, good shot with that Panzerstruck. And someone has base bombing is allowed, probably because they have the artillery advantage. The KV-8 down. Very good job for that Panzerjäger. They did get killed though, and here come the massive conscripts. There's a lack of Germans. The trenches behind to hold them back.
Prepare for orders.
The A5s are fighting with the Stuks down here. One Stuk down, but another 85 down. The Stuks are somewhat helping alleviate the problem. Yes, there's soldiers inside the trench. They do have a Panther coming up behind this, which might help. The Lafand is heading to whatever front, and I think it might be needed. Oh, they missed the KV-8 there. Veteran Stuk still holding on here. That Stuk has actually helped the Germans survive here a lot. Like, do not underestimate Stuks. If Stuks are used correctly, they can do a lot of work. Plus, the Elephant has relocated to the southern flank to help. Oh, that was a B4 shot, I think. Yep, that was a B4 shot. And destroyed this veteran Stuk in one shot. While that was happening, the Soviets did a big push up here I completely missed. Of course I did. Of course they did. I don't think the Waffen-SS can hold this. The Panther will soon be arriving. And it's the good version of the Panther. So, we'll see if that can make a difference.
Command structure is under attack.
You operate with infrared scopes. And that's one KV down. The Soviets will lack the stuff to fight the Panther apart from the IS-2, I feel. At least frontally. The Soviets are just doing a somewhat full retreat after that. Luke pulls back after almost being destroyed by something. The elephant die? Oh no, there it is. Okay. The shells keep landing near. Just bombing the German base now. Germans need to somewhat push out to re-establish the front line. 88 down. Panthers on the hunt, but the IS-2 is moving up to engage. That's a very risky battle. Okay, it managed to penetrate, but the IS-2 managed to penetrate and kill it in return. Yeah. That's unfortunate, this kind of stuff that happens. And I actually destroyed the main HQ down here now. Ooh, that's not good. Just bombing the Germans into oblivion at this point. Not much the Germans can do. Ah, VC prevented maintenance. Nice. That's actually an upgrade I always recommend if you're getting bombed a lot. Still keep repairing your base.
Firing on our HQ.
I don't think they'll repair destroyed buildings like the HQ though, but we'll move around to help repair everything else in the base. It's very good for dealing if your base is being constantly artilleried. That expensive either, 45 munitions. That's actually fairly costly. But it can be worth it sometimes. I personally think they should probably repair a little bit faster. Just my opinion. The SS base is the only base not getting bombed to hell. The tank division for the service is just staying back at the moment. They intend on just bombing the southern flank of the Wehrmacht into oblivion and circle north to the SS. So it's pull up more and more units, paying a grand offensive here. IS-2, T-3045, shock troopers. Everything they need for just a grand assault.
The enemy has dealt us a blow.
Mthis is being pushed back here by some small Soviet elements holding the northern flank. Some more T-34s being prepared here. So we are going to see like some kind of grand assault here from the Soviet Union. Managed to pull it off. 85s and shock troopers on the move. Oh, B4 hit straight on the elephant, killing it. Oh.
Our panzer forces have been reduced by
That's the opening the Soviets were waiting for.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
And now they can just do a mass assault if they want. There's nothing here to stop the tanks apart from one Stuke that's actually immobilized.
HQ is under attack.
Well, here they come. And there's nothing the Germans can do to hold this.
Are seizing a sector.
It's a brave attempt by the Germans, but a Soviet grand offensive is just very hard to deal with. That Stuke is holding on, well, no, it's holding on though.
The enemy has destroyed a panzer.
So he's just pushing to the base. They also push on the northern flank here. Nothing stops them. And this is over for the Germans. Stark is holding on though for a little bit longer than he should have, but that's his decision. And the Stukes have actually proven to do very well. But the 85 is just doing too much here.
One of our emplacements is under attack.
And there they go. A good interesting match and a good interesting map. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye bye.